Welcome to Review Rewind, the show where a couple of friends watch movies of old and aim to figure out if the reviewers were spot on or a little off. I'm Mike.
And I'm Tristan.
And this week we're watching the 1996 Michael Bay film, The Rock. Hey, Tristan.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
What's your bright spot, buddy?
Hey, this weekend was the annual PIFA festival, which is the Pacific Islander Festival Association thing.
Over in Mission Bay?
Yeah. So we went to that, had some fun, ate some good food.
I went to a couple of those when I was in those parts.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Good times. Yeah, and the weather wasn't too bad on the day that we went. It was a little overcast and a little bit rainy, but like not too rainy, just like a little bit. And then the sun wasn't out, so it wasn't like super burning hot. So it was quite pleasant, actually.
That's good.
How about you?
My bright spot is that no, I don't want to put too much of our personal stuff out there, so I can't say that one.
Fair enough.
I had a colon. No. Feel like nothing's more personal than that. I don't know. I guess that we're still here and we're still kicking. Like, you know, everything's kind of bad, but you know, I don't know. Seeing my kids, I get real happy about them. They're good kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're good beans.
Good beans.
And despite what our crazy government says, you know, Mila, this might be too much detail, but she got her flu vaccine and a COVID shot, and she did really well. She did super good. So, Ray learned how to play Uno at school.
Ooh.
And so now we're going to start playing Uno because she wants to. And I'm like, great. I've been dying for you guys to learn how to play board games. So
I think I remember the last time, not the last time I was at your place, but there was one time that I came over. We played Uno and it went forever.
Yeah. With them?
No, with you.
Oh, yeah. Because no, we didn't play Uno. We played.
Was it a different game that we played?
Skippo?
Oh, maybe it was Skippo.
Yeah, because that game can go on for a while.
Yeah. I have a theory that the house rules of those types of games they're good for like, hey, kid wants to play game longer.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually trying to win the game, house rules make the game worse.
If it makes you feel any better, we have no house rules. We follow the rules. So whatever we played was probably what the rules are.
Yeah.
Anyway. The Rock. Not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Alcatraz.
Directed by Michael Bay. Screenplay by David Weisberg. Douglas S. Cook, Mark Rosner. Story by David Weisberg and Douglas S. Cook. Let's take a look at these fellows.
David Weisenberg. Isn't it
Weisberg?
I'm adding letters.
There's no end. You said that and my brain immediately was, wait, no. I read that right. Okay, not a whole lot.
You're right. I just added things. Not a lot at all.
Double Jeopardy. Holy Matrimony prior to this. Payoff. and then Criminal, and then that's it. Apparently wrote a song that was featured on the 2004 film Garden State.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
How about that? How about Doug?
You want to take a look at Doug, and I'll take a look at Mark. So what has Doug got?
The same stuff.
Okay, so they were partners, I'd assume. So Mark, on the other hand, has had a little more. Had a couple little things, then wrote a bit on The Rock, and then had a bunch of TV shows that he jumped on. Close to Home, Smith, My Own Worst Enemy, Blue Bloods, only 2 episodes, Ironside, and Reef Break. Wow. Outside of Michael Bay, the creative team, I guess, on this doesn't
have a lot.
No. Interesting. Alrighty. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Michael Bay in a bit, so we'll wait. Produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. According to the end of this film, Don Simpson passed away when this was getting produced, leading to Jerry Bruckheimer kind of going solo. Because it was Don Simpson, Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer films, so they were partners in it for a bit, and now I really only know Jerry Bruckheimer.
But yeah, like all those things, Flashdance, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, Days of Thunder, Crimson Tide, Bad Boys, those were all things that Don was involved with.
Yeah. And then just kind of, did we talk? I'm sure we talked about him a little bit in National Treasure, because that was a Bruckheimer production. But Jerry Bruckheimer probably will go down as one of the biggest producers of all time.
I would imagine so.
F1. He just did F1. He did the new Beverly Hills Cop, the new Bad Boys, Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. He has a thing for action flicks. Top Gun Maverick, Hightown. Oh, is that a show? Yeah. He has a lot of shows under his belt, too. Gemini Man, 12 Strong, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lone Ranger. He's got a type. Let's just say that. He's got a type.
Certainly does.
Alrighty. And starring Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, Michael Biehn. I don't know how those letters work in that way.
Michael Biehn?
Biehn. And William Forsythe. I can read Forsythe, but I can't read Biehn?
Biehn,
huh? Okay.
Or Biehn. Like Biehn or Biehn.
Cinematography by John Schwartzman. Edited by Richard Francis Bruce. Music by Nick Gleaney Smith and Hans Zimmer.
I'm curious why there's a double composer.
Well, I know what Hans composed.
I think we all know what Hans did here.
Man, you know, he is one, will go down as one of the best contemporary composers. But he also recycles a lot, man.
He recycles so much.
Oh my gosh.
If you wanted to watch a movie that was like hey, what was Hans Zimmer sound from the 90s to like early 2000s? Watch this movie because this is spot on.
It's crazy. I don't know if this soundtrack is going to be. Oh, they do. Let's see. I'm trying to think which, because that theme was persistent.
Yeah, throughout.
Let's see. I'm going to fast forward a little. So this is the intro. So this has a lot of Hummel. This also has a lot of Transformers.
Yeah.
Did he do Transformers?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did.
That's the main theme right there. Dun 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 dun. Where's the car chase? I think it's this one. This one's called Jade, which they meet. Him and his goddamn pipes. Okay, it's not that. Jeez, where is it? This is a little bit of it.
There's a little bit of that.
There it is.
Oh, the Transformers, yeah.
But that's also the Pirates.
Oh yeah. But then there's also
it was
the sound
super
that's like,
huge in the car chase. Like the car chase was, you know, what sound are you talking about?
There's the one that you're like, that's kind of it. Is Barbossa and like the bad pirates?
Yes.
Also, there's a lot of National Treasure.
But he didn't do that one.
He didn't do it, but it really gave National Treasure, and I was like, "What is happening?"
It's because he really incorporated the digital sounds,
mm-hmm.
like the. I'm flabbergasted by how hard this is to find. It was throughout the whole goddamn movie. And it feels like that's one of the pirates. Dun 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 dun.
That's the one, yeah. It also there were a lot of like war video games in this time period, like late 90s, early 2000s, that had a very similar sound to this as well.
I'm truly amazed. This also doesn't have all the chase. That must be it. It was the last song. You know what it also has a little bit of? This is going to be kind of funny. Home Alone. So Gladiator was 99, 2000.
Yeah. Oh, that's not how you spell it. Gladiator. 2000, yeah.
So we can say that that it came from this.
From
this
Rock.
Is now officially our first evidence of Hans Zimmer kind of phoning it in sometimes.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing.
What if he just took it all from this Nick person?
Well, okay, let's start with Nick. Nick did The Rock. He did Home Alone 3. He did Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. And then
I wonder if he was a guy that just like worked with Hans.
Yeah, he must have been because he was in he has music department credits as like a singer or different things in like for things that Hans Zimmer has done. So um he has additional music credits for Pirates of the Caribbean, and some other things. So like they've worked together or around each other for a while, which is interesting.
Okay, so I distracted you. What were you going to say?
Some of these movies that we've mentioned,
yes, are
Jerry Bruckheimer movies.
Do you think it's just what Jerry likes?
And I think it could influence it because I think we've talked about this before, but sometimes when they are doing the early cut of a movie and they just want to put a track behind it, they'll be like, hey, put this behind it, and then they'll do it. And then when they're composing, they tell them like, hey, we want this kind of sound.
Right.
And often it just leads into having the same type of thing. And if it seems like it's a Jerry Bruckheimer thing.
Might be. You know what's really funny about that? Just imagining the guy who composed Pirates of the Caribbean and is like, all right, I'm on my own. I'm going to do it. And then they're like, hey, so these were the kind of songs we were thinking. And he was like, these are just Hans songs.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but can we do something? I just went on. It's like trying to be trying to be known on your own, and then someone's like, yeah, but could you do that thing your dad does?
Yeah. It's like, but that's not my thing.
Shoot.
Ugh. Yeah. So I feel like except for Home Alone, a lot of those other movies are Jerry Bruckheimer connected, and he's the through line in all of those things.
Yeah. And maybe Michael Bay too, because Michael Bay seems to have a lot of movies that kind of have that vibe to it. Sound wise, well, kind of everything wise. Production companies, Hollywood Pictures, and Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer Films, distributed by Disney, Buena Vista Pictures. Released June 7th, 1996. So it'll be 30 years old next year.
Wow.
Runtime, 136 minutes. Had an estimated budget of $75 million. Grossed in the U.S. $134 million. And worldwide, $335 million. So,
wow.
Good job, Michael B. Bay.
Michael B. Bay.
I just wanted to check. I don't think it is his first film.
No.
But this one feels like the first what becomes Michael Bay. Let's see.
Yeah, this definitely had all of the
it ticks
Michael
all the
Bay-ness
boxes.
too.
Yeah. He did a lot of music videos and a lot of porn. Am I reading this right?
What?
No, I know that sounded. So he did a Playboy thing.
Uh-huh. Well, he did a lot of music videos back in the 90s.
Sorry, I was thrown up. There just seemed to be a lot of the pictures seem to be like scantily clad women, and I was like, I'm not going to assume anything. And then it was, like Playboy, and I was like, oh, what? It was that late 80s. Did Meatloaf?
Okay, so I think
his first full length is Bad Boys.
His Bad Boys, and then
The Rock.
So this is his second.
And my understanding was
film.
He came on kind of late in the game for Bad Boys. because Bad Boys was originally written for Dana Carvey and John Lovitz.
Yeah.
And when they left it,
which is
that's
such
really
a crazy.
Funny. Well, when they left it, and it changed, and they brought in the idea of having like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, like he rewrote it a little bit, but he actually had Will Smith and Martin Lawrence do the dialogue for the most part. Because he was like, I know what this will sound like if I try. Yeah. Why don't you do it? And I guess The Rock is kind of the first one that was, I think, kind of on him. And then Armageddon, he got Pearl Harbor. Now looking at everything, he got Pearl Harbor so like way too early. But also thinking about some of the more recent directors, recent feels the last like young directors of the last 10, 15 years. Maybe it's not that crazy. I mean, Zack Snyder got Superman way too soon. And,
there are people who are like, they make their like film festival movie that wins awards, and let's give you this big budget thing.
Right.
And then we get the things that we get.
Wow. You know what? I kind of thought that he did a lot more than he actually did.
Wait, where's... Oh, there's... Okay.
As a reminder, he only produced certain films. He's actually not directed like every film that people associate with Michael Bay.
This is crazy, actually, thinking about, like, he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies before he got Transformers.
Yeah. And then Transformers ended up being one of the biggest movies of all time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And watched it recently. Not good.
Not the good. First one?
Yeah, it's bad. It has a 7.1 on IMDb. Not deserved.
Not deserved. The thing is,
you know what's really funny though?
I was super hyped about it when it first came
out.
Oh yeah,
ditto. You know what's really funny? Right after that, he did 2 shorts for Victoria's Secret, and those are rated higher. Alrighty. Recap! And now we transition to a little thing we like to call the Recap Rewind, where we rewind and recap the film. This week, Tristan, it's on me.
Yeah, had me panic for a second there.
Hey, what would you do for a Klondike bar? I mean, what would you do if you were visiting the famed Alcatraz prison to find yourself a prisoner held hostage by an elite team of Black Ops soldiers and mercenaries with enough firepower to destroy the entire city of San Francisco? Well, we don't know how to feel or how you would feel because we don't follow the prisoners in this movie. General Francis X. Hummel, literally the world's greatest general, has assembled a team who have stolen 4 missiles containing the most deadly bioweapon known to man. He has taken hostages and created a military base on Alcatraz Island. His goal? Pay back those who have been forgotten by their government and create a little nest egg for him and his buddies. The FBI, uncertain how to penetrate the impenetrable, seek the help of 2 unlikely candidates. First, the ridiculously named Stanley Goodspeed, a chemical weapons expert who just so happened to have knocked up his girlfriend, and she'll be joining him in San Francisco once the mission is complete, or somewhere about it. It doesn't really matter. Of course, he doesn't fully know the gravity of what is to come. Second, Captain John Patrick Mason, a former English special intelligence agent who had been caught stealing U.S. government files. and had once escaped from Alcatraz. Both are looked down upon by the higher-ups. Mason and Goodspeed join a highly trained team of Navy SEALs to infiltrate Alcatraz and disarm the missiles before the terrorists have time to use them. Well, quickly, it all goes to hell when the SEAL team are killed, and Goodspeed must convince Mason to stay and help. Upon realizing that Mason is dead either way, he joins Goodspeed. A whole lot happens while technically nothing really happens, so let me just list it. Goodspeed and Mason maze through the bowels of the prison and find a couple missiles and disarm them. The mercenaries are starting to get itchy trigger fingers as some of the team are picked off by Mason. Goodspeed is the first kind person that Mason has ever worked with. In a flurry of L's, Hummel launches a missile to show the government that they mean business only to sink it, and thus showing they don't mean business. The mercenaries get mad and turn on Hummel, which then turns into a gunfight, and Hummel and his second in command are killed. Mason and Goodspeed have to get the last missile before the mercenaries actually use it. Goodspeed is able to disarm it and shoves the poison into a bad guy's mouth. The government run out of time and send jets to blow up the island, the bad guys, Mason and Goodspeed, and the civilians. Goodspeed is able to send a signal just in time to stop the attack, but one bomb was released where Goodspeed and Mason were. Goodspeed lets Mason escape. Mason thanks Goodspeed by giving him the location of the film he stole that has hundreds of classified documents in it. And we assume Goodspeed and his girlfriend have more really weird sex. I know it's too personal for Nick Cage, but I almost feel like that is how he has sex. And it, like, it was happening, and it was like, this almost feels too real.
Yeah, but and then like
he's like, "Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting." It's like, do you really talk it out like that? That's crazy.
Who wrote the dialogue?
Some of the dialogue in this movie is so out of pocket. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like they were like, "Hey, we need to write some really macho lines here,"
but they have no concept of what that is.
And there's some that would make sense if there was a setup for the line, but there's no setup.
There's no setup, none whatsoever.
So, like, spoilers, at the end of the movie, he shoves one of the things, the chemical things, into the last bad guy's mouth, and he says, "Eat this," as if the guy had said something about, like, "I'm going to make you eat my fists" or something.
Right.
But he doesn't.
Or he was like, "You hungry for some pain?" or something. Like, the bad guy doesn't taunt him.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that has no real setup, but just, have you ever heard the Elton John song "Rocketman"? He's like, "I don't listen to that." He's like, well, it's about you. You're the Rocket Man. And then he shoots a rocket at him. That joke could have actually had some, like, semblance of weight and connectivity to it if the record he had gotten in the beginning of the movie was an Elton John record, not a Beatles record.
Not a Beatles record that never gets referenced again.
But he's a Beatle freak. He's a fan.
It feels, everything in this movie feels so disconnected. Like,
yeah,
they introduce things that don't have any follow-up, or they have the follow-up to something that was never introduced. So it's just like, it's everywhere, and it's so weird. And yeah, the end of the movie doesn't make sense. Like, him finding the film that he tells him to go and find it. Like, that makes sense. The way they go about it makes it seem like a completely different movie is starting.
Yeah. Yeah.
For context, they do all this mission. They get to the end of it. As Mike said in the recap, he gets the instructions on where to find this film, which is in the middle of Kansas at a church. And so it cuts to the church and you just hear the priest yelling, and Nicolas Cage runs out and jumps in the car, and his fiance, girlfriend, wife, whatever, is like, "Get in, baby." I guess they got married because it says just got married.
Right.
Or just married on the car. She's like, "Get in, baby, get in." And then they take off running as if it's some, like, they had done something really horrible. And I feel like he would have gone in there and probably not caused that to happen based on the character that we've been introduced to
right
in the entire rest of the movie. But it's just like, it feels so out of place and so weird. Like, I don't know.
And the only thing I can think for that would kind of tie it together is simply that he had to, like, kick the leg, and so the pew fell.
Mm-hmm.
And so this priest is chasing him because he broke a pew,
mm-hmm.
and he's running like a lunatic. Rather than him going, like, maybe he ran into it on accident and was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then just taking, it was a tiny little thing. So, like, he could have taken it in the ruckus
mm-hmm.
and then been like, "I'm so sorry. I will pay for this. You know, like, how can I help?" And then just walked out quietly. The chase of it all doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's weird. And, like, I don't understand. We'll talk about it when we talk about the characters, but I don't understand his character at all. And there was something else I was going to say, I don't know.
It's the conundrum of Nicolas Cage.
It's the conundrum of Nicolas Cage, for sure.
So what did you think of the film overall? Like, what is your, just an overall kind of adjective for it?
It is nonstop nonsense.
It is crazy.
It, like, you don't get 5 minutes of peace. Like, and this is part of the magic of Michael Bay, is he has gotten it down to a science, even in his second film, of how much time there needs to be before there's an explosion, there's gunshots, somebody's getting punched in the face. Like, it's, I didn't count it, but I think it's less than 5 minutes between each moment.
I was going to say, like, it's like 5 minutes before we have any dialogue.
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah. Like, it's all like visual scene building.
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning of the film is a montage of Hummel, I don't know, getting screwed, saying, I mean, there's a little bit of dialogue, but just that's almost like flashback dialogue. Like, it isn't. It is at most exposition,
mm-hmm.
and that's it. And at minimum, just like a passing thing. It's not until he, like, kind of makes the decision that he's going to do what he's going to do, and he goes to the grave of his wife,
mm-hmm.
and has the conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's just all, like, lights, visuals, cut, lights, cut, lights,
mm-hmm.
visual, cut, and it just kind of is moving its own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is nonstop. This is a much more explicit and, I feel like, dirty version of Christopher Nolan.
Mm.
where there's a lot wrong with this movie. There's a ton wrong with it. But you're just hit with so many things so quickly that I don't really think you have time to process what's wrong with it, because you're already to the next shiny object.
Yeah, I think the difference between Christopher Nolan and Michael Bay, Christopher Nolan distracts you with high concept.
Yes, very much so.
And pretty pictures. Michael Bay distracts you with explosions. explosions, and people who are vulgar. Yes.
Like, there's a vulgarness to it, but it's not even just that it's cursing. It's just
people feel gross.
It feels like everyone is a patron of the sleaziest bar, and that's how they talk normally, and that's from like the good guys,
everybody,
the highest up. The only person who had remotely a like start to finish reasonable dialogue was the president, and he was giving the okay to mass murder a bunch of civilians. So like even then you're like, oh, this guy seems oh my God.
Yeah,
I think he's approving a war crime on his own people. Cool. All right, well, let's get through it. We already talked about the music a little bit. It's very Hans Zimmer.
It's super Hans Zimmer.
Visually, man, if another light just flashes past a camera, throw something at the TV. Every scene has a light just passing the camera.
Yeah, there are some very iconic there are specific camera movements and camera angles that Michael Bay loves, and this movie is it.
Yeah,
like
this movie is a 101. Like,
yeah,
the only reason I wouldn't say Bad Boys is because I think Bad Boys has such a touch of, Will Smith had kind of gone through the phase of being, the good guy, the nice guy. He had a Christian family. Like, his grandma would get mad at him for cursing, whatever it is. This was his opportunity to play someone so polar opposite of any of that. And I think he had a say in it. And Martin Lawrence was a comedian unto himself, but he wasn't like a clean comedian. So he was going down that route anyway. But a lot of racist stereotypes aside, it does have a different voice than Michael Bay. This movie, even though it wasn't written by Michael Bay, somehow feels like it has his voice. It is very visually there. I think he kind of likes or appreciates Nick Cage to an extent. I mean, freaking crazy that he's got Nick Cage, Sean Connery, and just like a barrage of different other really big actors. Ed Harris, John Spencer, I think, was already on West Wing by this point, or was about to be. William Forsythe and David Morse, they had already been in quite a few films by that point. Michael Biehn, he was in Terminator. There's a lot of young ants. Tony Todd. I read that with a B. Tony Todd. This is a freaking Candyman, man. Like a pretty interesting group of casts, and again looking at it going, this was his second movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he had a bit of a voice in it, but this feels like his real first go at making a movie unto himself, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because I mean, if Bad Boys was something that he was brought into, it would feel like it's him. But with this one, it would have been him if he was the director who came in from beginning to end. And directors do have a lot of say in what the script ends up being, because if you look at his credits, he's never written a movie. He's always been from the director's perspective or a producer in how he's influenced. And movies like Teenage Ninja Turtles, he's the director, but he was a producer, and that movie looks and feels like a Michael Bay movie.
Man, it's like it's like all the Hans Zimmer soundtracks that aren't Hans Zimmer. They just sound like,
Exactly.
Maybe Michael Bay and Hans Zimmer are more alike than we think. And I don't say that as though we're thinking this. I was trying to look at the everything as far as Michael Bay. It doesn't look like they have any details, and by they I mean the wiki. But Jonathan Hensley participated in the writing script, which became the subject of dispute with the Writers Guild of America. The spec strip by David Weisberg and Doug Cook was reworked by several writers, but other than the original team, Mark Rosner was the only one granted the credit. The rule is that the credited writing team must contribute 50% of the final script, effectively limiting credits to the screenplay's initial authors. Despite his work on the script, Hensley was not credited, and Michael Bay wrote a letter criticizing the arbitration process as a sham and a travesty. He said Hensley had worked closely with him and should have received screen credit, which makes me think that Michael Bay was like on the production from the start.
Mm-hmm. I just read a thing that said, according to Michael Bay, the script was much more serious than what the final film ended up being. And most of the humorous moments and lines are improvised.
Well, this is what's interesting. British screenwriter Dick Clement and Ian Phineas was brought in at Sean Connery's request to rewrite his lines, but ended up altering much of the film's dialogue. Quentin Tarantino and Aaron Sorkin were also uncredited script doctors.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, God. At one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger was to have played the role of Goodspeed. Schwarzenegger turned the role down because he did not like the script. Also, in no way could we have had Arnold Schwarzenegger playing a person named Goodspeed, because that's fucking ridiculous.
And someone who is very incompetent in hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For us to believe that he doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
He might not actually know, but he doesn't look it.
He doesn't look it.
He doesn't look it. I just can't. Arnold Schwarzenegger here to play Stanley Goodspeed. Stanley Goodspeed. Goodspeed.
Goodspeed.
Goodspeed.
Where's my water?
Where's my water?
We've got 20 seconds left.
Have you heard? Have you ever heard the song "Rocketman" by Elton John? It's about you. You are the Rocket Man.
You are the Rocket Man. Hey, that line actually works a lot better when it's Arnold saying it.
You are the Rocket Man. Oh, man. Let's see. The soundtrack to The Rock was released on the same day as the film. Hans Zimmer and his longtime collaborator, Nick Glennie Smith, were the principal composers, while Harry Gregg Williams was the score producer. Look like, yeah, maybe Hans just got all his ideas from Nick.
Wait, is the song Rocket Man actually in the movie?
No.
Because it's credited.
Maybe it's in the credits.
Credits, maybe. I feel like that's something where like, hey, we've got the rights to this song.
Well, you know, it's funny because they have the like dun 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 dun, dun, dun going through that scene. That might have actually been like, na, 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 and he's like, have you ever heard this? You know, like that whole scene may have actually worked. It could have been actually really funny. He's like, you're the Rocket Man. And if Anywho, visually, it looks like a Michael Bay movie. Like, it just is a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah. He really likes that low angle camera spinning around. Shot.
And just really... Is it high contrast? Like, there's something about how his movies look where the darks look really dark, the whites look really white, and the overall color has just, there's clarity, but it looks unnatural.
Yeah. So he typically has, high contrast, high vibrancy, or like saturation, highly saturated, and then he tends to have the yellow or the orange green coloring. That's like very typical of all of his movies. Is like the darks are going to have a more green tint. Sometimes he goes blue, but he's in between the green and the blue with the like shadows, and then his whites tend to be like a yellow or orange color, and that's just the thing that he does.
Like, it doesn't ever matter what the actual scene is. If it's dark and there's a light, it's a floodlight. Like, it looks like a floodlight no matter what. That's just always, there's never a scene that is lit too dark, but yet you do have really dark shadows. It's just a weird thing. It's almost as though he overexposes the scene with light so that he can create that high contrast.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a very, it's a business card, basically. that is his look. What'd you think of the editing?
It was weird.
Yeah.
There was
this movie has so much goddamn slow motion.
There's the slow motion. There's a lot of like cuts during the action scenes that are just all over the place.
We should just say it. It's a music video. Like everything just feels, it feels like 3-minute music videos that are then just connected together with maybe like 20 minutes of an actual movie.
Interesting. Yeah. Which is baffling that they didn't use the music like Rocket Man in that scene. Like, that would have been a perfect use of being a music video director and tying it in.
I know. Everything that was done. Got a hair in my mouth. Oh no. Everything that was done in the Pentagon, maybe where all the generals were hanging out, that looked normal. And that's what I mean. There's a lot of scenes that just randomly look very normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bunch of scenes that are like, what is happening here? I mean, we might as well talk about it a little. What's it called? The special effects on the practical effects, the stunt effects, some of them were pretty good, and then some of them were rushed or just bad.
There's a lot of noticeable mannequins getting thrown off of things.
Yes, lots.
just like you can see a person, and then all of a sudden it just becomes like floppy arms falling through the.
There was. I wonder if you're thinking of it. It's the Rocketman one, I think, or it was the other. Times. It was the other guy, the sniper that got thrown over.
When the sniper gets thrown over, there's actually a shot where it freezes on the mannequin's hand, and it just sits there for a second.
But before that, as he's flying down, you see the hand do this.
Yeah, it's
because of how windy it is at Alcatraz and the force. They put no weight in the mannequin hand, so it's just flowing in the wind.
No, there's that. There's when I can't think of the character's name, but he's Dr. Cox from Scrubs. When he gets dropped off the thing, like you can see the moment that he turns into a mannequin.
Yeah,
it's just
John McGinley.
Yeah. There's a lot of those moments that you can just see it.
I'm trying to find him. Where is he? There was a general guy who he was also in Ninja Turtles 3. So it's just very funny to see him in this movie. And then be like, "Hey, that's the Ninja Turtles 3 guy.
It's the other guy.
Son of a gun."
Oh, this guy.
Oh. Fun fact, the guy who played the president in this movie also played the president in Armageddon.
Hey.
Michael Bay's got a type.
Yes, he does. Oh, okay. Just going through people now.
I know.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Stuart Wilson. That's the guy.
Stuart Wilson.
He is in Ninja Turtles 3. He also plays Don Raphael in The Mask of Zorro. I think he's actually like a pretty popular character actor, an actor himself. He usually plays the villain. So it was interesting to see him and be like, "Oh, you're just a guy in this. You're not gonna like destroy the world, are you? No? Okay." I even said to him, I was like, "Whoa." All right. We can move on. I'm done being an idiot.
He's not even credited in this one. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh,
you wanted to talk about. I think you want to get started.
Have you seen or heard the theory that is connected to this movie, specifically about Sean Connery's character?
I have not. So let us start with Sean Connery. That's a bad Sean. Wait. Sean. Nope, I got it. I missed it. I'm losing it. John Patrick Mason, a convicted criminal, but also one who is erased from history because he stole basically the FBI's little box of secrets. And he escaped Alcatraz, and he's a real pain in the FBI director's butt. So what is thine theory of him?
So it's not my theory, but it's a theory that exists out there because of the timeline. Because he gets put into prison around the 60s, which is around the time that he stopped playing
James Bond.
James Bond. And so the theory is that John Patrick Mason is James Bond. And it kind of works.
Kind of works. Well, have you heard the theory about James Bond in general?
Which one?
That 007 and James Bond are
just names that get, like it's a name that gets passed on to another person.
Correct. Yeah. It is the moniker of the agent, so that explains why there are different James Bonds.
Which that theory worked until Daniel Craig in Skyfall.
And then they just shat on it. They were just like, "Oh, you have a theory? No. Nay.
But yeah, it's just
you know
just
what?
fun,
but that is an interesting theory because it kind of works, and it's kind of made funnier that his one time he escapes, he has a one night stand, and that brings about a child. But like, it's totally on James Bond to escape and then just shag. Like that makes 100% sense.
And there's a couple of lines that he says that if you think of it coming from James Bond, you're like, ha, that's funny.
I wonder if the writers had that in mind, but they knew they would never get the rights to it. Yeah. So they just avoided it.
I don't know, but it's just a kind of a fun thought experiment.
Son of a bitch.
What?
What does a Mason do? Well, I'm just thinking because it's James Bond. And I was like, is his name a play on words? And do Masons just make the stone, or do they build with it too?
They build.
Because they're bonding bricks together. I know that's a stretch, but I wouldn't be shocked if they were doing that.
John
Patrick
James.
The Patrick is the one that is throwing me off. Well, yeah, I was like, why didn't they should have just called him like Bailey or something. John Patrick Bailey.
Same initials. Anyway, that's just a fun theory.
I like that theory. So we will shelve Sean Connery's personal life for a moment and let us just let's not shelve it. Let's put it forward and disclaimer of like, at least I know, kind of a piece of shit human. Understood. There is contrary evidence saying that he has repented for some of those things, and also some saying he didn't. So I don't know. He's dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So fuck him. I don't know. But we'll put him in context of this film.
Mm-hmm.
He's just playing Sean Connery. Like I don't know. Like he's just like an old Sean Connery.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
I don't feel like Here's the thing about Sean Connery in this particular film is he's supposed to play like this British Green Beret super spy kind of guy. They do not let him do a whole hell of a lot that makes him seem that cool.
No.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like some of his fighting is kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
His shooting is all over the place.
Mm-hmm. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not particularly good. And
like the only cool thing that he does is
talk.
when he throws the knife.
Oh Oh yeah.
Because he pops up and he throws the knife, and then he's just like, "What is it?
Never hesitate.
Never hesitate.
Never hesitate."
And that was like the coolest thing that he did. And then he just kind of became a normal guy.
Yeah, yes, you're right. Well, the one scene that was weird when they're fighting in the dilapidated laboratory, and he shot down the AC unit.
Oh yeah,
or the ventilation unit. I'd assume they didn't actually have AC, so I assume it's some kind of ventilator.
Mm-hmm.
And that crushed the guy. I did appreciate Nick Cage's line where he's like, "Oh, that's the most horrible thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
But that wasn't, I guess it was kind of clever, but the guy was down. Like, he could have just shot him. He shot his foot. I'm sure he could have figured out the rest of them. So I don't even know if it was particularly necessary.
Yeah, because
they needed to have him like snipe people.
I mean, I guess that guy could have fallen out of view, but like he shot his feet and then he fell to the ground. So therefore his entire body is now shootable. I don't know.
That's what I thought. Shoot his shins. He's going to run out of blood eventually.
Walked into the scene and just been able to be like, bam, 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 bam.
He wasn't a viable combatant at that point. Even with a gun, they just had to move out of the way. It wasn't like he was blocking the exit or whatever. Yeah.
And they could have done something where it was like he does some really good things, and then every once in a while he like misses, and then he just looks over, is like, getting old, or just like commenting on like the age, but
a little rusty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying to get that damn accent.
You'll get it.
I did like how much of a pain in the ass he was to Womack. Something that is very true about Michael Bay as a whole, whether people realize it or not, is he has an absolute disdain for authority.
Yeah.
Because every agent that is supposed to have some kind of power or whatever is just looked at with the most like they just look like a piece of shit. Even Ernest Paxton, William Forsythe's character, who they have like a slight rapport at the end of the film, he just seems like a douche the whole time. You know, there's no good guy.
No,
because I guess outside of maybe Stanley's the only person who seems to be a guy who genuinely cares about goodness, and he's never killed anyone up to this point, and
he's weird.
He's weird, but he seems to care about humanity in some way.
Yeah,
even to the extent of John Mason, who except for like one thing where that feels fishy, he just understands as a criminal, essentially. Former agent of England, but still a criminal. And then John Spencer, FBI agent, director Womack, treats Stanley like crap the whole time, and then admits to him that he has held Mason in custody for 40 years with no trial, completely unconstitutional, completely illegal, and has made it all the way to FBI director while holding that position. So did this way back when he was a director and has somehow kept that going the whole way up. So that just shows just an extreme example of bureaucratic abuse. Just the worst of the worst. Again, I said Ernest Paxton, who's played by William Forsythe, who plays, I guess, the San Francisco head of the FBI there. I think that's what his role is.
Guy with mustache.
Slick back hair, dogs like this. Yeah. you sure about this? Good speed. And then even the Navy SEAL guys, he makes them the characters. He just makes them horny for violence.
Yeah.
They just want to the point where that one Navy SEAL, like, he knows what the outcome is, and he still pokes his head through and uselessly fires his gun. So doesn't look at the military people in high regard. No one of authority or law enforcement or military is performed in a valiant way. Because even Hummel, who sees the issues with the government and is right about how the government is bad, is doing this all for the wrong reasons. And so, you know, he goes through this whole emotional journey where he's talking, you know, he's upset that the mercenaries killed all the Navy SEAL guys. But then they find out that there's two more, and Hummel is the one who's calling the shots and basically being like,
says,
blow them up, go kill them. It's like, so did you just turn off the caring? Like, how'd you do that? That's impressive. That's really crazy.
It seemed so weird for him to be as upset as he was about all the Navy SEAls being killed, and then him being like, fish him out.
Right. If he would have said to one of the other guys that we'll talk about, but if he would have said to one of the mercenary guys, I have a distinction between the military and the mercenary. If he would have told one of the mercenary guys, hey, go find them and then come back to me. And then one of the mercenary guys turned to the other one and said, fry him. Then it would make sense. Yeah. Because, you know, ask for forgiveness, something.
Yeah, and that could have introduced earlier on
that there was tension.
That there was tension between these mercenaries and him.
Right. Which could have been really helpful.
But we don't get that until much later in the movie.
Like, literally the end of Hummel. It's legitimately his last go that we finally see, oh, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of saw that from Captain Darrow, Tony Todd's character, a little bit, but not as much as in the end. There was not enough foreshadowing, which we could talk about that, I guess, when we get to them. So our position on Sean Connery in this movie is he plays the cool Scottish guy that he does, a very James Bond-ish character, but the movie itself doesn't do enough to garner the reputation that we're supposed to gather from him. So
for a movie that does such an excellent job, I meant to mention this before, but does such an excellent job of showing us the level of danger that this chemical can do in the beginning of the movie. Like, I think that is like such a good way of, like, they break into the facility, they steal the stuff, one of them breaks, and we see the guy die.
Yeah.
And like, they didn't tell us, it's not Mission Impossible where they say, hey, this chemical is really dangerous and it can kill 1 million people and we gotta blah 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 blah.
We see it happen.
And then we hear somebody later like, hey, a drop of this could kill everyone in a mile radius.
Right.
Like, now we're understanding the level of how bad it is, and we've already seen what it does. For a movie that does that, like the what we get later is just so disappointing.
Yeah. It's also interesting that speaking on Sean Connery, who character wise is underwhelming as far as his prowess in combat or whatever. I'm saying this because this movie has no problem showing violence.
Mm-hmm.
This movie has no problem showing shootouts and dead bodies and all of that stuff. Yet no one thought, hey, maybe we should just add a couple extra bodies to kill just so he can, show how good he is.
Mm-hmm.
We got time for that. We could do that. Cut one or two things, but we could do that. Yeah. Just it's a lot of, we'll give him the reputation, but we will kind of clumsily show. Yeah, it's super weird. He's a very underwhelming legend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, like, Legend of Extraordinary Gentleman is not a great movie, but he's supposed to play this guy who's an amazing shot. He shoots really well.
Alan Quartermain.
Yeah, and throughout the whole movie, he's just taking real good shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what he does, and I think that's kind of the direction they kind of needed to go to put a ribbon on this.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else about Sean Connery? Nah, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's probably the best that you've done so far. Yeah, it didn't feel like he was extraordinary.
They were delayed.
He was not an extraordinary gentleman in this movie. He seemed like someone who's like, if they just said he's ex-military, okay, like, yeah, sure. But the fact that they're like, he is like the best of the best, and like, show us that he's the best of the best.
Right.
And like, he can be rusty. Show us him being really good, but also rusty because he's been in prison for 30 years. Like, we can see that, but that's not what they presented to us. We get a lot of exposition about his character, and then we see him blindly shooting a gun around a cabinet. Like, that's not impressive in any way.
Yeah. All right, Nicolas Cage, Stanley Goodspeed. He's just Nick Caging all over the place. It's just getting his girlfriend pregnant, Nick Caging on the couch. Like, he's just Nick Caging everywhere.
I hate this.
But seriously, it's as though the script, I don't know how the hell they would have even thought of writing this movie for anyone else but Nick Cage. I don't know anyone else who could have pulled this off. Stanley Goodspeed is supposed to be this very awkward, manic kind of character, and Nick Cage pulls it off because he's a manic kind of character. Like, at least he plays it that way.
But is Stanley supposed to be that kind of character, or did he just become that because it was Nick Cage portraying that role?
It works for me. I don't really care. There's something about Nick Cage that makes it work. There's aspects about the movie that don't make it work. Because he's supposed to be a chemical expert, right?
Yeah.
So why is the first thing he's doing to show that he's this chemical expert is diffusing a bomb?
Yeah, I mean,
and kind of like awkwardly diffusing it. They don't spend a whole lot of time. Like, there's no one in the room going, what are the wire colors? Like the typical bomb things. You just have the one guy talking about the needle he's got to stick in his heart. And the reality was just that they, like he knew the chemicals, but also he's a bomb expert. And maybe that they did explain that.
Mhm.
It just felt weird that he is a bomb expert, and which, yes, I'm going to give it that he is a bomb expert because that makes sense for the story, because he's taking the chip out, the guidance chip, so he understands the rockets to an extent.
Mhm.
It just how it feels like they went this whole way to create this world where these chemicals are super awful and horrible, and they've explained what these chemicals are, and they make Nick Cage kind of, obsessively explain about some of it, manically explain about some of it, and sometimes in some scenes. And then everything that has to do with the bombs, they're just like, yeah, just cut a wire. It's okay. Just cut a wire. Because that whole scene, you're supposed to have this tension of he has to disarm this bomb, but you never actually see why he's struggling with the bomb.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean? Like, he has the thing, but he doesn't go like, okay, that's connected to this. All right, that's connected to this. That's okay. If I cut this one, we die. If I cut this one, we might die. They never build the tension with the bomb. It's all about the chemical.
There's nothing about like him. Like he could have been yelling at the guy to be like, just do it. Like you are distracting me from doing what I need to do. Like he doesn't even yell at that guy. Like there's two different things happening. And really it just looks like he holds the same wire for the minute and a half timer. And then finally he's like, clip.
I guess I should cut this one. That's my whole point, is they spend all this time making sure that he sounds like a chemical expert, that they never spend any time with the bomb aspect. And so when he's supposed to show his competency with the bomb, he doesn't. It just seems kind of like it just happens. It's almost lucky.
Yeah, it does. It seems weird that he is a biochemist. Like, we totally understand that he understands chemicals and bioengineered weapons and like that kind of stuff. But they don't really give us the background of like, how is he also
like, was he on a bomb squad?
Is
that the same degree? Is that something I'm unaware of? Do chemical engineers also have a degree in electrical engineering that would give them the ability to disarm bombs?
Yeah. Also, the way they introduce him again
with the Beatles.
The way they introduce the character never pays off. Is one, he gets the Beatles thing, and then nothing ever comes of that.
$400 or $600 record.
But he and his partner are sitting in an office. Both of them are in suits. Everyone around them is in lab coats. So one, what's he doing here?
Yeah,
where are they?
Yeah.
If somebody at the end of the movie, Ernest Paxton calls him doctor. So we are to believe that he is a scientist who works for the FBI.
Right. But they never really give us that.
But why is he dressed like an FBI agent and not a scientist?
Why is he dressed like a schmuck?
And then,
like, he's not dressed like, he doesn't look like an agent. He looks kind of disheveled, but he certainly doesn't look like a scientist.
Yeah. And then the very first thing that we see him do is expertly shoot a dart gun.
Yeah, that was good.
To hit a thing that sets off a Rube Goldberg machine. And then his partner's like, oh man, blah, 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 blah. And then later, when he gets an actual gun, he doesn't know how to shoot it. They introduce a character who is an expert marksman, from what we can tell. And then he doesn't even know how to use a gun. And his only experience is when he went through training.
Right.
That is a flawed writing of a character.
I think it feels as though this movie, writing wise, because it does sound like there were a lot of hands in the pot, but also in the editing phase, the script editing phase, no one ever was aiming to look at how do we build a cohesive character as much as, hey, these things are going to happen in the movie. How do we make sure we justify these particular characters being the ones doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But then they don't justify it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we have to mention this.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure we mention this. And that's about as far as they got. They got distracted.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably writing this in the fall, so there was pumpkin pie. They got distracted by pumpkin pie.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of how this whole movie works out. Like, this whole movie is, there's really good ideas, and then someone forgot to finish the ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they finally got to finishing the ideas, they just rushed it through and forgot about the rest of the movie.
They forgot about the good idea that they started with.
Yeah. So they were like, oh, I got a different good idea. This will work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Nick Cage just played Nick Cage, really. Ed Harris, General Francis X. Hummel. Did you have another Nick Cage thing? I do want to say
that, like, sometimes Nick Cage being Nick Cage is charming for the character.
Uh-huh.
I found him very annoying in this one.
That's very fair. To be perfectly frank, that is fair. There are moments where it works, and what moments were annoying?
I think it's just kind of.
Do you hate Nick Cage?
I think I have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I think he's like, this is it. And sometimes I think, what are we doing here, folks? But I think there's an element of his character who, again, with the writing of it, they could have presented it better.
Right.
That is insecure about his role in what he's doing here. Yeah. And so when he has a gun, when he's doing the things, he says these stupid lines that are supposed to come off as him being tough or whatever. And like, it makes sense if you allow yourself to think like, oh, he's being insecure, and so he's like overcompensating in how to present himself here. But it feels like that's him all the time. Like, he doesn't feel that way, except for when he's talking about chemicals. That's the one thing that he's like confident about, and he will talk about it. Right. But even the way that he talks to his girlfriend, the way that he talks to John Mason, like, everyone that he talks to, he just sounds super insecure and super arrogant. And it comes off weird. A lot of his lines are like, where's this? Why are you saying that?
Right.
Like when what does he say? Like, the hands up, sucker, or whatever it is. It's like, what do we do? What?
Yeah. He just watched a marathon of Cops.
Yeah.
And so, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you, bad boys, bad boys?
So there's part of his character that
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah.
But I think there's just elements, and I don't know if I think it's a mixture of the writing and Nick Cage being Nick Cage. But there's just some parts where I'm like, I don't love this character.
And I think my theory on that, because I think I agree with you, and my theory on that is, in most circumstances, because this isn't always true, but in most circumstances, Nick Cage needs to be surrounded by a completely stable, foundationed world.
Mm-hmm.
That even if it's ridiculous, the characters within that world are still rooted in some kind of reality.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got Sean Connery being this kind of ridiculous kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the FBI is just some weird ass person.
Mm-hmm.
Even Ed Harris, who's playing it very straight, his character has so many red flags as a character
Mm-hmm.
that you don't ever really trust him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's always trying. I guess, we can kind of move on to him a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but like he's always trying to make it seem as though he has this noble crusade, but like he's threatening civilians in San Francisco with a chemical bomb that could kill. They have 3 or 4, so it could kill 200,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, a huge population of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all essentially for money, black site money that the government has stolen, and they make a point of that, but it's still just money.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately his goal was not just to do a payday for the people he saved. This feels a little bit like Die Hard, where Hans Gruber they have a bunch of ridiculous demands. They're trying to free people, but that's all a guise to cover up the fact that they're just stealing money.
Mm-hmm.
This one feels like he's using the fallen soldiers and those who have been forgotten and everything as a way to, yes, he will pay their families, but also enrich himself and his team thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's it's going to end up being like $20 million going not to...
He told every one of his guys that they're going to get him $1 million.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's a lot of money. And to do this, like the ramifications of an accident
Mm-hmm.
are enough to besmirch his title completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if they had done this without that kind of deadly weapon, maybe you can say like, okay, he did take hostages, but the risk would have been like, he was basically about to nuke a city.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he's not. There's no redemption for him, even when he has doubts about it, because his plan alone, even if they never used it, the risk alone is heinous. Like, the risk alone is unforgivable.
Yeah, his character, I think, is the most interesting from the. I mean, the movies really should have been more about him because he's the character that we're introduced to at the beginning. But it's really his conflict that is what the story is about. And I feel like they could have made him so much more interesting. Like, if his thing was that he tried to do everything to stand up for his fallen brothers, like, he did all the right things. He took it to court. He tried to present it. He's a general. He can do things. He's in a position where he can try to do things. And if he kept getting shut down, and if this is the history that we know of this guy, and then he finally feels like this is the last resort,
right?
Then we get this more complex character because he tried to do it the right way, and now he's like, well, you guys aren't listening, and I need you to listen. But then we also, like you said, it's all for the money. Like, what's the actual How
Right.
does A equal B? Like it doesn't.
In that note too, like it also it feels as though the movie was trying to create some kind of redemptive arc for him,
Mm-hmm.
where he dies at the hands of the mercenaries and then he gives away where the last missile is, but there's no context for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really empty redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And then throughout the whole thing, he could have said it's over in a different way, but it just felt as though he was doing all of this just to keep his leadership role as a general.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't done with the military, so he created this scenario that keeps him in a position where he's leading men into battle and all of that. He never wrestles with that idea. He never, stops for a moment. Even to his death, he's trying to uphold that. And I think that was the problem. The problem with his character was he was never looking at the things he was doing for the country that forgot him and went, these were bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they're trying to infer.
Yeah.
He got the information that was classified knowing that it was illegal and that it was bad, that they had this money, that they stole this money, whatever, I think there is an undertone of he knows that he has done bad things, and maybe if he can make the government feel a little pain or be punished for it, then that makes up for some of the bad things he did. But they never explore that. I think that that's inferred in some of it, but it's very secondary, third, fourth level. Like it's not in any way, shape, or form the main point of his character.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I think he could have been the most interesting. I think he is the most I think you're right. He is the most interesting character. And I think there could have been a lot more for him. He just feels underdeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
Or his character is supposed to be a piece of shit. I don't know. And he's just using the military stuff as a mask to cover up the fact that he is in fact just a greedy bastard like the rest of them.
Yeah,
you feel like that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't feel right to how Ed Harris plays it.
Yeah, it feels like he either needed to be fully the bad guy, or he needed to be this super complex character.
Yeah, I think they needed to have a scene where the mercenaries like arrest him, and not just the threat of it, and then they go into a gunfight, but maybe like take command from him, and then him realizing how serious they're going to be about this missile, and then him help prevent them from doing it. Maybe they should have had him be the one talking on the phone, and then they're the ones who shoot it off. Shoot off the missile, and then he like pushes them out of the way and sinks it. Like he forces himself in to stop it. And then they're like, hey, we were going to use this. Like the whole point of this was to use it. And he's like, no, that was never the point. There could have been more there, but him being the one to set it off and him being the one to drop it, set off the missile and then drop it into the ocean. I don't know. I feel like that takes away from it in some way. Maybe someone could explain it in a way that doesn't feel that way, that could justify it, but there's something about it that just feels off in itself. And so again, like you said, he needed to be a character who was either fully in and was just an evil bastard, or a troubled man who wanted the government to feel the trauma that he has felt and his compadres have felt, and finds sees the error of his way and tries to redeem himself.
Mm-hmm.
His death is kind of meaningless in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone could have shot. The fact that they made it the mercenary doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't do anything to help the story along. So, All right, speed round. John Spencer, FBI Director Womack. What a piece of crap.
He's the worst.
David Morse, Major Tom Baxter, the second in command to Ed Harris. He did good.
Yeah. Interesting character who you think is betraying him at the end, but then ends up being like...
he's the one that I think had a lot more depth to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, too, because, I do think he was serious in questioning Hummel and saying, like, man, like, what are we doing? What's the whole point of this?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. Will Forsythe, Ernest Paxson, again, just generic douchebag law enforcement guy.
With a mustache.
Yeah. Michael Biehn as Commander Anderson, the lead of the Navy SEALs. Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah, that whole scene is just so like
it's so intense.
Like you were saying, of everybody's just horny for violence. Like,
yeah,
he's just escalating it.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be there to de-escalate it.
Right. Vanessa Marcel is Carla. Pestalozzi.
She was there.
Yeah, she was there. I don't. This is a weird thing. I think she was supposed to be there to be like eye candy, but objectively, I don't actually think the movie made her out to be that way. I don't think the camera like sexualized her, but she was definitely very horny.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how this whole I don't know. They make her the like not damsel in distress, but like the onlooking girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
The one who has to watch from the sidelines and is just nervous and crying the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They needed that because no one gave a shit about Stanley in the FBI, so they needed someone in the room who cared about him. That was the whole purpose of her in that scene.
Yeah. It was to have somebody care about him and for him to be like, I have to stop this.
Yeah.
Not only because of all the people over there, but my girlfriend and my baby are over there.
Right. Michael Bay has a weird relationship with sexuality. And I don't know what it is exactly. I sent you a video.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did.
It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole video is that Michael Bay is secretly a genius in that he is not making these movies. They put a caveat at the end, but he is not making these movies because he is objectifying women or whatever it might be. But he is doing this because he sees this as something that we, the audience, desire.
Mm-hmm.
He made a movie about big old robots, and there's racial stereotypes. There's a lot of bad racial, horrific stereotypes in it. There's a lot of sexualization of Megan Fox and all of that stuff. And then it ends up being one of the highest grossing movies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took that cue as, all right, well, this is what people want.
Yeah.
And he uses the example of whatever Transformers it was.
Fourth one with Marky Mark.
Dino Wahlberger or whatever. That he showed
Age of Extinction. Is that the one? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Was that the one it was?
I think so.
After the first one, I honest to God have no idea what happened. And here's the thing. I saw this one, the one we're talking about, the Dino one, At least the one with Mark Wahlberg, whichever one that is. Is that the Dino one?
I forgot that there's two with Mark Wahlberg, but yes, Age of Extinction is the.
Is that the first one? So I saw that one in theaters. I'm gonna be 100%. I don't remember a single thing. I don't even know if I sat through the whole thing. I think I walked out. But in that movie, he keeps on camera for an ungodly amount a law that is in Texas that is basically justifying statutory rape.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're saying he's doing it on purpose to show like that we as a country have allowed these kind of things, that he's not showing something that is.
He's not trying to defend it. He's trying to be like,
he's showing that like, hey, this is a law that exists. This movie just makes me think there might be some validity to it, because I feel like he just doesn't understand sex. Like their whole, there was like an odd chemistry to them where it like worked, but it was also didn't work.
Right.
And then, you know, they have a sex scene and it is one of the weirdest, like,
it's weird.
It's super weird. And very not explicit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both clothed pretty well, which again, you would expect from a Michael Bay movie that had a sex scene in it, that it would be just like a very explicit thing. And it really wasn't. It was more awkward than anything else.
Very tame for Michael Bay sexualization of a character.
Right. And so I guess my point in saying that is like, in this movie, we do have some moments where there is just awful black stereotypes with some of the prisoners that get the hostages.
Oh yeah.
There were some things where I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
This is unnecessary. You're literally, the joke is, ha ha ha, they are black. Ha ha, and they are mad. Ha ha. Like that's the joke. So it's just you're just looking at it going, okay, this is ugly. Like this is a bad stereotype. This is not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they really sexualize Carla too much. Maybe I wasn't really watching the movie too much in those scenes, but I don't feel like there was, which just maybe it's wrong of me to be expecting it from a Michael Bay movie. And being surprised from it, I don't know, that it's a weird thing.
No, but I agree. It was noticeably not for,
which good for it.
Yeah.
John C. McGinley, he played a soldier. We'll talk about these two and then we'll move on. We got, there was one, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember his name. I don't remember if they said his name. I will say one thing that was clearly a bit homophobic and unnecessary was the hairstylist. Like everything about him was like, oh, guys, don't do it. No, just as soon as he started talking, I was like, okay. And then the more he started talking, the more he was talking, the more I was like, oh, everything about this is bad. They're just, it's funny because it's a man who's a hairstylist who's gay, I guess. Like, is dumb. Anyway, the two I wanted to talk about was the two head mercenary guys, Gregory Sporlander and Tony Todd as Captain Fryer and Captain Darrow, respectively. These two were underutilized because I think they were supposed to be the bad baddies, but it happened so late in the game that it just didn't really have any way. They just seemed like douchebags at that point. Like they just seemed like bullies. They didn't seem like villains. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they do early on they're more aggressive.
There's a lot of foreshadowing to it.
Like I think it's when after the seals come up into the bathroom and then they kill them all. And then there's one that's still alive. One of them, I think it's Captain Darrow, is just like, kill him.
Yeah.
And then Hummel is like, no. It's like, don't do that. And that, like, there is that moment of like, maybe there's something weird here, but they didn't lean enough into foreshadowing that these guys are like going to betray him or are more than what we've been introduced to.
Pun intended. They kind of went into it half-cocked. Like they just they never committed fully to any idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that became their problem when they have really good both of those actors were playing villainous people really well.
Mm-hmm.
But because they couldn't commit to it, or they just didn't have the wherewithal to see that Hummel is a great character and needs to have this different kind of arc than what we have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys really need to take control.
Mm-hmm.
The fact they didn't really pull the trigger on it is just unfortunate. It's one of those things that could have taken this movie from being like a dumb Michael Bay movie that is kind of fun to a movie that has some really complex themes within it.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
Yeah, this movie teases complexity.
Yeah.
But never gets into it.
No. It like shows the lake, but it never dips in.
Yeah.
Any other characters you can think of that?
Not really. Claire Forlani is in it for a moment. We talked about her before in Mystery Men.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing of interest. Did we talk about the fact that Sean Connery's character has a daughter and she's that daughter, and he's like, she's the motivation for him to like come back.
They needed something more, some kind of exposition to explain like why he suddenly has this burning desire. And I understand that like he's out, but they never really give you a reason of why he's trying to reconcile.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels forced.
Mm-hmm.
If he would have been like, I have colon cancer, then you'd be like, oh, he's dying. Okay. So like, I get it. And then at the end, Goodspeed could have been like, you don't have a lot of time, so you probably shouldn't need to spend it in a cage.
Mm-hmm. A Nicolas Cage.
Zing, zing, zing.
Zippy, zing, bang.
Yeah, she was, that's where she's from. I was like, I recognize this gal, but I couldn't figure out what it was. You're right. Mystery Men.
That's the one.
I don't know how old she's supposed to be.
College, I think.
Yeah, she looks exactly the same. Like, if you would have told me she's 21 or 40, I would have been like, maybe? I don't know. I've reached the point in my late 30s where I can't tell how old people are. And so I'm just like, look, you're either younger than me or you're older than me, and I don't really want to talk to any of you. So and it's funny because I'm a high school teacher, so like I know what teenagers look like, and then I also live in a college town, so I see college students all around. I'm like, look at all these middle schoolers. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What are all these middle schoolers doing without their parents? Why are there a bunch of middle schoolers in this bar? What's going on? I don't know if I have any quote or anything that it stands out. This movie the dialogue is so bad sometimes. So let's just do this for consistency on our shtick. I'm going to go down and find... This one does have a few that are voted down, so maybe we'll find one that is... Ooh, so no votes. Captain Darrow, maybe now they'll pay up. Captain Hendricks, maybe now they won't. Captain Darrow, then maybe we need to execute a few hostages. This one has 2 dislikes. This is a terrible system to figure out what's good and what's not, but Stanley, I have to go to San Francisco. No, you don't. No, you don't. Carla's complaining. I love you. I will marry you. I just didn't plan. Oh, is this where she's like, I'm really Catholic? I am Catholic. Do you realize that? And then he invites her.
I don't think I realized that he said this.
What?
How in the name of Zeus's butthole did you get out of it?
Yes. And isn't the next line? Oh, he just opens it. Yeah. Or doesn't he say trade secrets, my son? Is that the one he does say that? I just don't know.
I think so, yeah.
I did actually like the line. So Mason pulls a trick with Womack and like hangs him over the side of a building, essentially dislocating his arm or breaking his arm. And then the next time he sees him, he's like, "How was the bowling arm?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn it, that's a good line. There was, okay, we've already talked about it, but the Rocketman line sucked. That is so bad. Because there's no context to it. It's delivered in that scene was like 8 seconds too long.
Mm-hmm.
He stares at the button for so long. Like the camera stays on the button for the rocket for I feel like a grand total of 8 seconds. They should have shown it once and then him just move through the lines. The guy was in the way. Like they set it up. It was good to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. And now we finish up with our review rewind, where we take a look at a positive review, a negative review, and we see where we fall. Metacritic gives this a 58%. Rotten Tomato, 67%. Tomato audience, 85%. IMDb audience, 7.4. So, overall, the critics, meh. Audience, eh. And we see where they fall. So go ahead and read the positive one.
Chicago Sun-Times gave it an 88. A first-rate slam-bang action thriller with a lot of style and no little humor.
So big humor?
Big humor.
Is that
no little humor, just big humor.
Wait, but if you take little out, then it's just no humor. I don't understand that sentence.
And what does no little humor mean?
That's got to be a turn of phrase that we just don't use anymore because it was confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm going to see if that's got some... The phrase no little humor is a double negative used to emphasize meaning a considerable or great amount of humor.
But little is a negative?
I don't know.
When did little become did I sleep during class when they were talking about little?
Is
it saying little humor, meaning that it's a little bit, so the no little humor is the opposite? So little is inherently negative?
How about we read the negative?
I'm gonna say it's a bad review.
Okay.
It's now let's read the review that is little humor, I guess. 25 from Christian Science Monitor.
Yay.
I don't know if that's like a reputable source or if they truly are just Christian scientists, and if that's the case then I don't care about their opinion, but it was the lowest one, so huzzah. Can a mild-mannered toxicologist and an eccentric Alcatraz veteran stop him before it's too late? Learning the answer means sitting through more than 2 hours of violence, vulgarity, and all-around excess. Served up with high-tech trimmings by director Michael Bay. So this is clearly a excerpt from like a fuller paragraph.
Yeah.
Because it's like halfway through a thought.
Feels like an actual review.
Yeah.
Or some of the things we get are like, you're just trying to wax poetic over here. These guys are just like, this is what you're getting when you watch this movie.
Yeah, it's right. That sums it up. But I mean, maybe we'll come from a position of it's not all bad in that, like, the violence, the vulgarity, and the excess. It's not that big a deal. Mm-hmm. If you care about that stuff, I can see it being a problem. Mm-hmm. Thus, the Christian Science Monitor might be going from that perspective, but. What do you think? What are you thinking? I'm really torn. Because there's aspects of this movie that are objectively, it's a bad movie.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad, but it's also entertaining.
But bad movies can be entertaining.
Yeah, so that's where I don't know. Like, I want to give it a bad grade because it's bad, but I also don't want to give it that bad of a grade because it's like, it's worth watching. It's worth a watch. Nick Cage is a crazy kook. Sean Connery is Sean Connery. Ed Harris plays like an Ed Harris type character. This is basically National Treasure 2 localized entirely on Alcatraz with a ton of blood. And Nick Cage is playing both.
Ed Harris is in that movie too.
Exactly. That's why I said. And Nick Cage is playing his character and the comedy relief character guy all into one.
He's both the Benjamin Gates and Riley.
Benjamin Franklin Button Gates. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think at best, I don't think we can give it more than a C-. And at worst, I don't think we can give it much worse than a D+. Like I feel like it's one of those two.
It's really on the cut. Like it is in the scope of grading. An F is a failure, and it is 50%. D goes up to 69.6. Nice. And 69.9. Dang it. Nice. Like this one is like either 69.99999 or like right on the money 70. And even giving it that 70 is just like, it feels a little, I don't know if it's a D+. Like I think it is a C-, but it's also, I feel bad for some of the other C movies that we've gotten because I think they were way better than this movie, but this movie is freaking entertaining.
Yeah, I feel like this is somehow the most complex one to rate for us because it's just like it lands in a really weird spot.
Here's what I'll say. I give it a C- for entertainment, but as a movie as a whole, it is a D+. So I think we'll give it a C- as our grade. Because we're really trying to look at this as, okay, how the whole premise of the damn show is looking at reviews, and reviewers are what are you? What?
No, continue your thought, and I will.
Reviewers are ultimately trying to give the public an idea of what the movie is. And I feel like even with a C-, all our other qualifications for it give it that understanding of like, this is what you're getting. It's gonna be entertaining. It's also gonna be a piece of shit. And I don't know how to wrestle that.
We did not say a single good thing about this movie, and yet we're debating.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
We're debating because it is entertaining. We didn't mention that. It's entertaining.
It is really
we did not say a good thing
we
about
did,
this movie.
and I think because there was a bit of inherentness in our conversation that we enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed this movie. But you got a point. We didn't say a single positive thing as we were going through. I think it's a D+. It's a D+. It's a D+.
Yeah.
God damn it. You're right. And it's funny. We owe nothing to anyone. I've never met Michael Bay.
Nobody.
I'm sure he's a piece of shit. Nick Cage is the most eclectic person out there. Sean Connery, fuck him. I don't know. Ed Harris, is he the only one we got to look at and be like, I'm sorry, Ed. I'm sorry. Nope. There we go. I was trying to put D+ and I put D equals.
D equals.
Dang it. Yeah, sorry, Ed Harris, if you're listening. How'd that happen? Are you okay? Are you just eating some Ben & Jerry's and just binging our podcast? I'm so sorry, Ed. I didn't realize life got that bad.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed. I took that bit so far that you didn't even know where we were at with it.
I got lost in the middle of it.
You know what? I listen back to our podcast sometimes and I'm like, what was I talking about? Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Tristan, thanks for watching this movie with me.
Hey, thank you for making me watch it.
You know what? It was a little reprieve from all the other stuff we were having.
Yeah.
You know what? This movie was funnier than Zoolander. I'm going to give it that. But to our audience, to our listeners, always remember, review those rewinds, and we'll see you next time.